to tourism research is maybe I could bring together my knowledge as an economist, my knowledge as an economic policy advisor. I was in the 90s for many years advisor of the Minister of Economic Affairs in Austria. Bring together this knowledge to make policy, theory and applied economics in different fields. That means forecasting, impact analysis, strategy development, develop tourism programs, tourism policies. That means I brought all sides together, and that is a special contribution what I could maybe say that is the core what I could do to bring together theory, policy and application. Came to tourism economics is our former Chancellor Bruno Kreisky had the idea in the early 80s to build in Vienna a huge conference center. And he need for that an impact study, you know, how many conference tourisms will come, and I don't know how this could develop. And so I got my first touch on tourism in some way. Then I worked in both fields, you know, and then in the mid of the 80s I slipped over to tourism economics, you know. And with time I specialized in tourism forecasting, tourism impact analysis. I did some developing of tourism central accounts, many publications. And to summarize my contribution, I learned from the recession 2009, from the big recessions. And I figured out that consumer behavior in these recession times is asymmetric. That means consumers behave differently in recessions than in boom phases. That means there is some typical asymmetric behavior to measure, and that to apply for forecasting is amazingly important, because when you now in the next period is a recession or a boom period, you have to consider different demand reaction patterns, you know, as you assume just the average, you know. And I guess in this way I will do more research and set already some impact to measure this asymmetric behavior. I introduced in econometrics and economic theory psychological theories, you know, where you can explain the asymmetric behavior, you know. And in some way it is an extension of the, I would say, knowledge in tourism economics. Yeah.